Unlock Your Potential. Live the Life You Were Meant For. By Audible Insights. Introduction. There's a quiet struggle many of us face, one that's often invisible even to ourselves. It's the weight of a life that doesn't quite fit, a life built on compromises, fear, and outdated beliefs. Deep down, you may sense the dissonance, the nagging feeling that something is missing. Yet, you find yourself standing still, unsure of how to bridge the gap between the life you live and the life you know you're meant for. But what if I told you this isn't your final destination? What if the frustration, the yearning, the doubt, everything you feel right now, isn't a sign of failure but an invitation? An invitation to unlock the untapped potential inside you and to step into a life that feels authentic, purposeful, and free. This journey isn't about quick fixes or surface-level improvements. It's about transformation. It's about shifting your perspective, breaking free from the invisible chains that hold you back, and taking bold, deliberate steps toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. You won't just learn how to change your life. You'll discover how to completely redefine your experience of living. Chapter 1. The hidden cage. Have you ever felt like something invisible is holding you back? Perhaps it's not obvious at first glance. You wake up each day, go through the motions, and from the outside, your life might even seem fine. But deep down, there's a sense of being trapped, an unshakable feeling that you're stuck in a version of life that doesn't feel like yours. This invisible barrier is what I call the hidden cage. It isn't made of steel bars or locked doors. It's constructed from the beliefs you've absorbed over time. It's made of every "I can't," "I'm not enough," and "what if I fail?" that has taken root in your mind. The tricky thing about this cage is that it's so familiar, so normal, that you may not even realize it's there. But it is, and it's quietly shaping every decision you make, every opportunity you avoid, and every dream you dismiss. Now, let me tell you something important. The hidden cage is not your fault. We all inherit beliefs from the world around us, our families, schools, society. These beliefs are often well-meaning, designed to protect us or help us fit in. But over time, they can harden into walls that limit our potential, boxing us into a smaller, safer version of ourselves. The good news is this: the cage may be hidden, but it's not unbreakable. The first step to breaking free is to recognize its existence. So let's do that together right now. Take a moment to reflect on a time when you held yourself back. Maybe it was a job you didn't apply for because you didn't think you were qualified, or a dream you shelved because it seemed too risky, too impractical. Think about what stopped you. Was it fear, doubt, the feeling that someone like you wasn't meant to have something so big? That moment, that hesitation, is the cage at work. The second step is to understand that the cage is built on stories about who you are and what's possible for you. These stories are powerful because they feel true. But here's the secret: they're not. They're just narratives you've been told or told yourself, and they can be rewritten. Here's how we begin rewriting them. First, identify one belief that feels like a limitation. It might be something like, "I'm not talented enough," or "I'll fail if I try." Write it down. Seeing it in front of you in black and white does something powerful. It takes the belief out of your head where it feels overwhelming and places it in a space where you can observe it objectively. Next, ask yourself, is this belief absolutely true? Often the answer is no. Maybe you've failed before, but does that mean you'll fail again? Maybe someone told you you're not good enough, but does that make it a fact? When you question your beliefs, you weaken their hold on you. Finally, replace the old belief with a new, empowering one. For instance, if the belief is, "I'm not smart enough," replace it with, "I am capable of learning anything I set my mind to." This isn't about blind optimism or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about choosing a belief that supports your growth instead of stifling it. This process may feel uncomfortable at first. After all, the hidden cage has been your home for a long time. But discomfort is a sign of growth. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, You're shaking the foundation of that cage, loosening its grip on you. As you begin this work, you might notice resistance. That's normal. The mind doesn't like change, it craves familiarity. But remember this, the hidden cage only has power if you choose to stay inside it. By questioning your beliefs and choosing new ones, you're taking the first steps toward freedom. The hidden cage may be invisible, but it is not invincible. Every time you recognize a limiting belief, challenge it, and replace it with something empowering, you're dismantling the walls that have confined you. Piece by piece, brick by brick, you're creating space for a new version of yourself to emerge, a version that's not limited by fear, doubt, or old stories. As we close this chapter, take a moment to visualize what life outside the cage might look like, not in vague terms but in vivid detail. Picture yourself making bold choices, pursuing what truly matters to you, and living in alignment with your potential. This is not just a fantasy, it's a glimpse of what's possible when you commit to breaking free. In the next chapter, we'll explore the deeper why that will fuel your journey. But for now, hold on to this truth. The cage may have shaped your past, but it doesn't have to define your future. You have the power to unlock it. Chapter 2. The power of why. Why do you want to change? It's a simple question on the surface, but answering it can feel surprisingly difficult. The reason is that many of us haven't stopped to ask ourselves what truly drives us. We live in a world that bombards us with expectations, telling us what we should want, how we should live, and what success should look like. Amid all this noise, it's easy to lose touch with the deeper, more personal reasons that fuel our desire for change. But here's the truth. Without a powerful why, transformation is nearly impossible. Your why is the fuel that keeps you going when things get hard. It's what gives meaning to the effort, the setbacks, and the sacrifices. Without it, change becomes a chore, something you're forcing yourself to do rather than something you feel compelled to pursue. Let's start by examining the difference between surface-level goals and deeper motivations. Imagine someone says they want to lose weight. That's a surface-level goal. Now, ask them why. Maybe they'll say it's because they want to look better. But why is that important to them? Perhaps it's because they want to feel confident. And why does confidence matter? Because they've spent years hiding from opportunities, relationships, or experiences due to insecurity. When we peel back the layers, we find the real why. They want to live fully and freely, unburdened by self-doubt. This is the kind of why we're searching for, the one that comes from the core of who you are. So let's do some digging. Think about an area of your life where you feel the strongest desire for change. Maybe it's your career, your relationships, or your personal growth. Now, ask yourself, why do I want this change? Write down your answer. Then dig deeper by asking why that matters to you. Keep going, peeling back the layers until you reach a place that feels raw and real. That's your why. When you find it, something shifts. Your why is like a compass. It points you in the direction of what truly matters. It's not about what other people think you should want or what society deems valuable. It's about what lights you up, what gives your life meaning, and what makes you feel alive. But discovering your why is only the beginning. The next step is to anchor it into your daily life. Start by creating a tangible reminder of your why, something you can see, touch, or hear every day. It could be a note on your bathroom mirror, a photograph that represents your vision, or even a playlist that inspires you. These reminders act as guideposts, helping you stay connected to your purpose when distractions or doubts arise. Another powerful practice is visualization. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself living in alignment with your why. Picture the choices you're making, the way you're showing up in the world, and the impact it's having on your life. Visualization isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's a way to train your mind to focus on what matters most. Finally, use your why as a filter for decision-making. When faced with a choice, big or small, ask yourself, does this align with my why? If the answer is no, Consider whether it's truly worth your time and energy. This practice helps you prioritize what's important and let go of what isn't, creating a sense of clarity and direction in your life. There will be moments when staying connected to your why feels challenging. Life gets busy, obstacles arise, and it's easy to lose sight of your purpose. When that happens, return to the simple question, why did I start this journey? Revisit the reasons you wrote down, the vision you created, and the feeling that drove you to seek change in the first place. Your why is more than just motivation, it's your foundation. It's what transforms change from something you have to do into something you want to do. It's what turns effort into joy and persistence into a natural response. As we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your why. Let it settle into your heart and mind and carry it with you as you move forward. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to rewrite the stories that have been holding you back. But for now, know this. Your why is your power, your anchor, and your guide. Keep it close and it will carry you through. Chapter 3. Rewriting the narrative. The stories we tell ourselves shape our reality. They determine how we see the world, how we interpret events, and, most importantly, how we see ourselves. These narratives are powerful, but they're not always true. In fact, many of them aren't. They're a mix of experiences, assumptions, and beliefs that we've collected over time, often without questioning them. Think about the stories you've carried. Maybe it's the belief that you're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. Maybe it's the idea that success is for other people or that failure defines your worth. These stories may have started as passing thoughts, but over time, they've hardened into identities, into the limits of what you believe is possible for you. But here's the thing. Those stories aren't facts. They're interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. If you want to transform your life, you must begin by rewriting the narrative you've been living by. Let's start by uncovering the stories you tell yourself. Take a moment to think about a goal or dream you've hesitated to pursue. Now ask yourself, what's the story I've been telling myself about why this isn't possible? Write it down. Be honest, even if it feels uncomfortable. The goal here isn't to judge yourself, but to bring these hidden narratives into the light. Once you've identified a story, it's time to challenge it. Imagine you're a detective investigating a claim. Look for evidence that supports the story, and more importantly, evidence that contradicts it. For example, if your story is, "I'm not capable of success," ask yourself, have there been moments in my life where I succeeded, even in small ways? The answer is almost always yes. Those moments, no matter how small, are proof that your story isn't entirely true. Next, consider the origins of your story. Where did it come from? Was it something someone told you, a parent, a teacher, a peer? Or was it an interpretation of an experience, like failing at something and concluding you weren't good enough? Understanding where your story began helps you see it for what it is, a perspective, not a truth. Now comes the most important step, rewriting the story. This isn't about creating a fantasy or ignoring reality. It's about crafting a narrative that empowers you instead of limiting you. Take the original story you wrote down and flip it. If the story was, "I'm not capable of success," rewrite it as, "I am capable of learning, growing, and succeeding." If it was, "I'll never be enough," rewrite it as, "I am enough as I am and I'm always growing." When you rewrite a story, you're not just changing words. You're changing the way you see yourself and the world. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. To solidify this new narrative, look for opportunities to reinforce it through action. For example, if your new story is, "I'm capable of learning new skills," take a small step to prove it to yourself, maybe by signing up for a class or trying something you've never done before. Action turns belief into reality, creating a feedback loop that strengthens your new story. One of the challenges you might face is the voice of doubt. Even as you rewrite your narrative, the old story might try to creep back in, whispering, "What if this isn't true?" When that happens, remind yourself that doubt is normal. It's part of the process of change. Instead of fighting it, acknowledge it and choose to act on your new story anyway. Rewriting your narrative isn't a one-time event, it's an ongoing practice. Each time you challenge an old story, you weaken its hold on you. Each time you choose a new narrative, you strengthen your sense of possibility. Over time, these small shifts add up, transforming the way you see yourself and your potential. As we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on the stories you've been living by and the new narratives you're ready to embrace. Imagine what your life could look like if you stopped believing the old limitations and started seeing yourself through the lens of possibility. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the power of letting go, how releasing what no longer serves you creates space for the growth you desire. But for now, hold this truth close. You are the author of your story and the pen is in your hands. Chapter 4. The art of letting go. If you want to unlock your potential, you must first create space for it. But here's the challenge. Many of us are carrying things we don't need. Old habits, toxic relationships, outdated beliefs, and unresolved emotions. These things weigh us down, filling our mental and emotional space with clutter that blocks growth. Letting go isn't just a nice idea, it's an essential step in your transformation. Letting go can feel daunting because we're wired to hold on. Even when something no longer serves us, it can feel safer to cling to the familiar than to face the uncertainty of change. But holding on comes at a cost. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks everywhere you go. Each rock represents something you've outgrown or no longer need, yet you keep carrying it because it feels easier than setting it down. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable. To move forward, you have to lighten the load. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or denying your past. It means choosing to release what no longer aligns with the life you want to create. Start by identifying what you're holding on to. Think about a belief, habit, or relationship that feels heavy. Maybe it's the belief that you need to please everyone to be loved, or a habit of procrastinating because you're afraid of failing, or a relationship that drains your energy instead of nurturing it. Write it down. Seeing it clearly is the first step to letting it go. Now, ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? Often, we cling to things because they provide a sense of security or familiarity. For example, a toxic relationship might feel hard to leave because it's better than being alone, or so you believe. A limiting belief might persist because it protects you from the risk of disappointment. Recognizing the reason behind your attachment helps you understand it without judgment. Once you've identified what you're holding on to and why, it's time to challenge its place in your life. Ask yourself, is this truly serving me? Does it align with the person I want to become? Often, the answer will be a resounding no. This realization can be painful, but it's also liberating. It's the moment when you begin to see that holding on is no longer worth the cost. The next step is to create a ritual of release. This can be as simple or symbolic as you like. Some people find it helpful to write a letter to the thing they're letting go of. A goodbye letter to an old habit, a toxic relationship, or a limiting belief. Write down everything it's taken from you, but also acknowledge what it taught you. When you're done, destroy the letter in a way that feels meaningful, burn it, shred it, or tear it into pieces. Another powerful ritual is decluttering your physical space. Letting go of material items that no longer serve you can be a symbolic act of making room for new energy in your life. As you let go of physical clutter, you'll often find it easier to release emotional and mental clutter as well. Letting go isn't always a one-time event. Sometimes, you'll find yourself revisiting old patterns or beliefs, even after you've committed to releasing them. When this happens, be gentle with yourself. Letting go is a practice, not a perfection. Each time you catch yourself holding on to something that doesn't serve you, simply acknowledge it and choose to release it again. It's also important to remember that letting go creates a vacuum. When you release something, you're left with space, and what you fill that space with matters. Instead of focusing on what you're losing, focus on what you're gaining. For example, letting go of a toxic relationship might create space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. Letting go of a limiting belief might create space for self-confidence and possibility. As you go through this process, you may feel grief, even if you're letting go of something harmful. This is normal. Grief is a natural part of releasing attachments, even when those attachments are unhealthy. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up, but don't let them pull you back into old patterns. One of the most transformative aspects of letting go is the sense of freedom it brings. The heavy backpack you've been carrying becomes lighter. You start to feel more energized, more open, and more in tune with your potential. This freedom isn't just about what you've released. It's about the clarity and space you've gained to create something new. As we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on what you're ready to let go of. Picture yourself setting it down, walking away from the weight that's been holding you back. Imagine the lightness, the freedom, and the possibility that come with release. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate the habits and routines that support your growth, ensuring that the space you've created is filled with intention and purpose. But for now, remember this: letting go isn't about loss, it's about liberation. It's a gift you give yourself, a step toward the life you were meant to live. Chapter 5. Building the foundations of growth. When you think of growth, it's easy to focus on the big, transformational moments, the breakthroughs, the accomplishments, the milestones. But the truth is, lasting change isn't built on moments. It's built on consistency. It's the small, everyday choices and actions that form the foundation for who you become. If you want to create meaningful change in your life, you need habits and routines that support and sustain your growth. Habits are powerful because they operate in the background of our lives, shaping our behaviors without requiring constant effort or decision-making. Imagine if every time you wanted to brush your teeth, you had to consciously decide to do it, question whether it was worth the effort, and debate how long you should spend. It would be exhausting. Habits take the mental load off, turning important actions into automatic ones. But here's the challenge. Many of us have habits that work against us rather than for us. These habits don't align with the person we want to become, yet they persist because they've been repeated so many times that they feel natural. To grow, you need to consciously choose and cultivate habits that align with your goals and values. Start by identifying one area of your life where you want to create change. Maybe it's your health, your relationships, or your productivity. Now ask yourself, what small, consistent actions could support this change? The key here is to start small. Big changes are overwhelming and unsustainable, but small habits have a way of snowballing into significant transformation over time. For example, if you want to improve your health, you might start by drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. If you want to deepen your relationships, you might commit to sending one kind message to a loved one each day. If you want to be more productive, you might start by spending just 5 minutes each morning planning your priorities. These actions might seem insignificant, but they're the seeds of change. The next step is to anchor your new habit to something you already do. This technique, known as habit stacking, makes it easier to integrate new behaviors into your routine. For example, if you want to meditate daily, you might decide to do it right after brushing your teeth. If you want to read more, you might place a book on your pillow so you'll see it before going to bed. By linking a new habit to an existing one, you create a cue that reminds you to take action. As you build new habits, it's important to celebrate small wins. When you acknowledge your progress, no matter how small, you reinforce the behavior and create a positive feedback loop. For example, if you're trying to exercise regularly, take a moment to appreciate how good it feels to move your body after a workout, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. These moments of celebration help your brain associate the habit with positive feelings, making it more likely to stick. It's also important to recognize that building habits isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. There will be days when you miss a step, fall short, or feel unmotivated. This is normal. What matters is how you respond. Instead of giving up or feeling like you've failed, remind yourself that progress is more important than perfection. Missing one day doesn't erase the progress you've made. What counts is showing up again the next day. One of the most common reasons people struggle to build habits is that they focus too much on the outcome and not enough on the process. For example, if your goal is to run a marathon, it's easy to get caught up in the idea of crossing the finish line. But the real growth happens in the daily runs, the moments when you lace up your shoes and hit the pavement even when you don't feel like it. Instead of fixating on the end result, focus on becoming the kind of person who takes consistent action. This shift in perspective is powerful because it moves you from doing to being. When you identify as someone who prioritizes their health, learning, or relationships, your actions naturally align with that identity. You're not just checking off tasks. You're embodying the qualities of the person you want to become. As your habits grow, they create momentum. Small changes compound over time, leading to results that feel almost magical. This is the essence of the compound effect. Tiny, consistent actions add up to significant transformations. For example, reading for 10 minutes a day might not seem like much, but over the course of a year, it adds up to over 60 hours of reading. This principle applies to every area of life, from finances to fitness to personal growth. As we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on the habits and routines that make up your daily life. Are they aligned with your goals and values? If not, what small changes can you make to bring them into alignment? Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken over time. In the next chapter, we'll explore the role of mindset in your journey, diving into how the way you think shapes the way you live. But for now, know this. Every small step you take is a step toward the life you're building. Trust the process and let your habits be the foundation of your growth. Chapter 6. Rewriting the inner script the way you think shapes the way you live. Your beliefs, thoughts, and inner dialogue form the foundation of your reality. Yet for many of us, that inner script, the running commentary in our minds, is riddled with doubt, fear, and self-limiting beliefs. These narratives shape how we see ourselves, what we believe we're capable of, and how we approach life's challenges. To unlock your inner potential, you must rewrite that script into one that empowers and uplifts you. You may not even realize how much influence your inner script has on your life. Think about a time when you hesitated to take a risk, speak up, or try something new. What were the thoughts running through your mind? Perhaps they sounded something like, "What if I fail? I'm not good enough. People will judge me." These thoughts aren't just fleeting. They create patterns that shape your actions or inactions and hold you back. The first step in rewriting your inner script is awareness. Start by paying attention to the thoughts that run through your mind throughout the day. Notice how you talk to yourself, especially in moments of challenge or uncertainty. Are your thoughts kind, encouraging, and supportive? Or do they tend to be critical, doubting, and harsh? As you become more aware of your inner dialogue, you may notice recurring themes. Perhaps you often tell yourself you're not smart enough, attractive enough, or successful enough. These thoughts may feel like truths, but they're often just stories you've internalized over time, stories influenced by past experiences, societal expectations, or the opinions of others. The good news is that these stories are not set in stone. You have the power to change them. To begin rewriting your inner script, challenge the beliefs that don't serve you. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I always mess things up," ask yourself, is that really true? Can you think of times when you succeeded, learned, or overcame obstacles? When you challenge these thoughts, you begin to weaken their grip on your mind. Once you've identified and challenged your limiting beliefs, replace them with empowering ones. This isn't about blind positivity or telling yourself things you don't believe. It's about creating a narrative that supports your growth and potential. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm terrible at this," you might say, "I'm learning, and every effort I make brings me closer to improvement." Another powerful tool in rewriting your inner script is visualization. Your brain responds to imagery almost as vividly as it does to real experiences. When you visualize yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and embodying the qualities you aspire to, you begin to align your thoughts and actions with that vision. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself living the life you want, feeling confident, capable, and fulfilled. Journaling is another way to rewrite your inner script. Write down the beliefs and stories that hold you back, then challenge them on paper. Ask yourself where these beliefs came from and whether they are still true. Then, rewrite them into statements that reflect the person you're becoming. For example, transform "I'll never be good at this" into "With practice and persistence, I can get better at anything." Be patient with yourself as you go through this process. Rewriting your inner script is not an overnight transformation. It's a practice that requires consistency and self-compassion. There will be days when the old narratives resurface, and that's okay. Each time you catch yourself falling back into those patterns, gently redirect your thoughts to the new, empowering story you're creating. As you rewrite your inner script, pay attention to how it changes the way you show up in the world. Notice how you approach challenges with more courage, take risks with more confidence, and interact with others from a place of authenticity and self-assurance. This shift in your inner world creates ripple effects in your outer world, transforming not just how you think, but also how you live. At the heart of this chapter is a simple yet profound truth. You are not your thoughts, but you are deeply influenced by them. By changing the way you think, you change the way you experience life. And by rewriting your inner script, you give yourself permission to step into your fullest potential. As we move into the next chapter, we'll explore the power of resilience, the ability to rise after setbacks, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward. But for now, take a moment to reflect on the stories you've been telling yourself. What narrative no longer serves you? What empowering story are you ready to write instead? Your inner script is yours to create, and it's never too late to begin rewriting it. Chapter 7. Resilience. The art of rising life will test you. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments when you feel like the weight of the world is too much to bear. These moments can either break you or build you. It all depends on how you respond. Resilience is the art of rising after the fall. It's the ability to endure, adapt, and ultimately grow stronger in the face of adversity. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain or pretending everything is fine. It's about learning how to navigate through the storms and come out on the other side, transformed. Think about the last time life threw you a curveball. Maybe it was a personal loss, a professional failure, or a relationship that didn't work out. What did you do in response? Did you retreat, shut down, or allow the experience to define you? Or did you find a way to keep going, to pick up the pieces and rebuild? These moments are pivotal because they reveal the depth of our resilience and our capacity to grow. Resilience begins with acceptance. One of the hardest truths to embrace is that life is unpredictable and often unfair. We don't get to control everything that happens to us, but we do get to choose how we respond. By accepting this, you stop wasting energy resisting reality and start focusing on what you can do to move forward. A key component of resilience is reframing. When something difficult happens, your perspective shapes how you experience it. For instance, instead of seeing failure as a sign of inadequacy, you can choose to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. This shift in mindset doesn't erase the pain of the experience, but it empowers you to find meaning and purpose within it. Imagine you're walking through a dense forest and you encounter a fallen tree blocking your path. You have three choices. You can turn back, give up, and abandon your journey. You can sit and wait, hoping the obstacle will somehow disappear. Or you can find a way around it, climbing over, crawling under, or forging a new path. Resilience is the willingness to keep moving forward, even when the way ahead isn't clear. One practical way to build resilience is to focus on what you can control. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to get caught up in the what-ifs and the unknowns. Instead, ask yourself, what's one small step I can take right now? This might mean reaching out to a friend for support, making a list of options, or simply taking a moment to breathe and center yourself. Small actions create momentum, and momentum fuels resilience. Another powerful tool is gratitude. This might seem counterintuitive when you're facing challenges, but gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's still good. It doesn't mean ignoring your pain or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it's about finding moments of light, even in the darkness. For example, if you're struggling with a job loss, you might focus on the support of loved ones or the opportunity to explore a new path. Resilience is also strengthened through connection. No one gets through life's challenges alone. Leaning on others doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Share your struggles with trusted friends, family, or mentors. Let them remind you of your strength when you can't see it for yourself. And when you're in a position to do so, offer the same support to others. Resilience grows in community. Self-compassion is another cornerstone of resilience. When you're going through a tough time, it's easy to be hard on yourself, to feel like you should be stronger or have it all figured out. But resilience isn't about being invincible. It's about being kind to yourself as you navigate life's challenges. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a close friend. Over time, resilience becomes a mindset. You begin to see setbacks not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and grow. You recognize that failure is not the opposite of success, but a necessary part of the journey. You understand that even in your darkest moments, you have the strength to rise. As you reflect on the challenges you've faced, consider how they've shaped you. What have you learned about yourself? How have you grown? These experiences, as painful as they may be, have contributed to the person you are today. And each time you rise, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. In the next chapter, we'll explore the importance of purpose and how aligning your life with a deeper sense of meaning can fuel your growth and fulfillment. But for now, take a moment to honor your resilience. You've faced storms before and you'll face them again. Each time, you'll rise a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. Chapter 8. Discovering your why. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? What fuels your decisions, drives your actions, and gives meaning to your life? Many people go through life without ever pausing to ask these questions, moving from one task to the next, driven by expectations or habits. But living without a clear sense of purpose often leads to feelings of emptiness, dissatisfaction, and restlessness. To unlock your full potential and live the life you're meant to live, you must discover your why, the deeper reason behind what you do and who you are. Purpose isn't a luxury or an abstract ideal. It's a fundamental part of a fulfilling life. When you're connected to a clear sense of purpose, everything changes. Decisions become easier because you have a guiding compass. Challenges feel less daunting because you're driven by something bigger than yourself. Even mundane tasks can take on new meaning when they're tied to a deeper why. Finding your purpose often begins with curiosity. Start by asking yourself some key questions. What lights you up? What are you naturally drawn to? What activities make you lose track of time? Think about the moments in your life when you felt the most alive, the most connected, or the most fulfilled. These moments hold clues to your purpose. It's also important to look beyond yourself. Purpose often lies at the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, and how you can contribute to the world. This doesn't mean you have to solve global problems or change the world overnight. Purpose can be found in the small, everyday ways you make a difference, whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your creative pursuits. One powerful exercise to uncover your purpose is to imagine your 80th birthday. Picture yourself surrounded by people who love and admire you. What would you want them to say about the life you've lived, the impact you've had, and the legacy you've left behind? This exercise helps you focus on what truly matters, cutting through the noise of daily distractions and societal pressures. Another way to discover your purpose is to reflect on your pain. Often, the challenges you've faced and the struggles you've overcome can guide you toward your why. For example, someone who has experienced loss may find purpose in helping others navigate grief. Someone who has overcome self-doubt might feel called to empower others to believe in themselves. Your deepest wounds can become the source of your greatest contributions. Once you've begun to uncover your purpose, the next step is to align your life with it. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job, change everything overnight, or have all the answers. Instead, start by taking small steps. Ask yourself, how can I bring more of my why into my daily life? This might mean pursuing a passion project, volunteering, or simply shifting the way you approach your current responsibilities. Living with purpose also requires saying no. When you're clear on your why, you realize that not everything deserves your time and energy. Learning to say no to distractions, obligations, and opportunities that don't align with your purpose creates space for what truly matters. This can be challenging, especially if you're used to saying yes out of guilt or obligation. But every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your purpose, you're saying yes to a more intentional life. Purpose is not a destination, it's a practice. It evolves as you grow and change. What feels meaningful to you now might look different in 5, 10, or 20 years, and that's okay. The key is to stay curious, open, and willing to adapt. Regularly revisit your why and ask yourself if your actions and choices are aligned with it. As you embrace a life guided by purpose, you'll notice a profound shift. You'll feel more energized, more focused, and more connected. Challenges won't disappear, but they'll feel more manageable because you'll have a deeper reason to keep going. Your relationships will become richer because you'll approach them with intention and authenticity. And most importantly, you'll experience the profound satisfaction of knowing that you're living a life that matters, not just to you but to the people around you. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the art of taking bold action, how to move from intention to implementation, from dreaming to doing. But for now, take a moment to reflect on your why. What gives your life meaning? What impact do you want to have? Purpose isn't something you find once and hold on to forever. It's something you create every single day. Chapter 9. From intention to action, having a clear sense of purpose is powerful, but purpose without action is like a map without a journey. To transform your life, you must move from intention to implementation. This chapter is about bridging that gap, learning to take bold, deliberate steps toward the life you envision. The challenge many people face isn't a lack of dreams or goals. It's the paralysis that comes with uncertainty, fear, or overwhelm. You might have ideas swirling in your mind, a career change, a passion project, a healthier lifestyle, but the steps to get there feel unclear or daunting. So you stay stuck, waiting for the perfect moment. Here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. The only way to create change is to start. One of the most effective ways to begin is to break your goals into small, manageable steps. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain, looking up at the summit. If you focus only on the peak, it can feel impossible to climb. But if you focus on the first step and then the next, the journey becomes doable. Start by identifying your next right action. If your goal is to write a book, Your next step might be as simple as setting aside 20 minutes to brainstorm ideas. If you want to improve your health, your first action could be swapping one unhealthy meal for a nutritious one. The key is to choose a step that feels achievable, yet meaningful, a step that builds momentum. Momentum is the antidote to procrastination. Action creates energy, and energy propels you forward. Even the smallest progress can boost your confidence and motivate you to keep going. Celebrate these small wins. Each one is a reminder that you're capable of taking control of your life. But what about fear? Fear is one of the biggest barriers to action. It whispers, "What if you fail? What if you're not good enough?" The reality is, fear never completely goes away. It's a natural response to stepping outside your comfort zone. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, but to move forward despite it. A powerful technique for managing fear is reframing. Instead of seeing fear as a signal to stop, view it as a sign that you're growing. Fear often arises when you're on the brink of something meaningful. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Often, the worst-case scenario isn't as catastrophic as your mind imagines. And even if things don't go as planned, every step teaches you something valuable. Another way to overcome fear is to focus on your why. When you connect your actions to a deeper purpose, it becomes easier to push through discomfort. For example, if you're nervous about giving a presentation, remind yourself why it matters. Maybe it's an opportunity to share your ideas, inspire others, or advance your career. Purpose fuels courage. Discipline is another crucial element in turning intention into action. Motivation can be fleeting, but discipline keeps you moving forward even when enthusiasm wanes. Discipline isn't about willpower alone. It's about creating systems and habits that support your goals. For instance, if you want to exercise regularly, set a consistent time each day and prepare your workout gear in advance. If you're building a new skill, schedule dedicated practice sessions and minimize distractions. Accountability also plays a vital role. When you share your goals with someone you trust, a friend, mentor, or coach, you create a sense of commitment. Knowing that someone else is invested in your progress can motivate you to follow through. Consider finding an accountability partner or joining a group of like-minded individuals who share similar aspirations. As you take action, be prepared to face setbacks. Progress is rarely linear and obstacles are inevitable. When things don't go as planned, resist the urge to give up. Instead, view setbacks as opportunities to learn and adjust. Ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? What can I do differently next time? Resilience in the face of challenges is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Visualization is another tool that can help you turn intention into action. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself taking the steps toward your goal. Picture yourself succeeding, overcoming obstacles, and experiencing the joy of achievement. Visualization primes your mind for action and strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. Above all, remember that action is a process, not a one-time event. It's about showing up consistently, even when it's hard, even when progress feels slow. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you want. As this chapter comes to a close, reflect on the actions you've been avoiding. What's one thing you can do today to move forward? It doesn't have to be perfect or grand. The simple act of starting can ignite a ripple effect of change. In the next chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of building habits, how the small, consistent actions you take each day can create extraordinary results over time. For now, focus on taking that first step, because the life you're meant to live isn't waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for you to begin. Chapter 10. The power of habits. Every day, whether you realize it or not, your habits shape the trajectory of your life. They influence how you spend your time, how you feel about yourself, and what you ultimately achieve. While major breakthroughs and big decisions often capture our attention, it's the small, consistent actions, your habits, that determine your success or failure. Habits are powerful because they operate in the background. Once formed, they require minimal effort or conscious thought, making them a reliable vehicle for change. But this power works both ways. Positive habits can propel you forward while negative habits can hold you back. To live the life you're meant to live, you need to harness the transformative potential of habits. Let's start with the science. Habits form through a loop of three key components: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue triggers your behavior. This could be a time of day, an emotional state, or an environmental signal. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward reinforces the habit, making it more likely you'll repeat the action. For example, if you feel stressed, cue, you might reach for a snack. Routine, because it temporarily soothes you. Reward. The key to changing your habits lies in understanding this loop and deliberately reprogramming it. Let's break it down. First, identify the habits that are holding you back. Maybe you procrastinate when you're overwhelmed, spend hours scrolling through your phone, or skip workouts because you're too busy. Don't judge yourself, simply observe your patterns. Awareness is the first step to change. Once you've identified a habit, analyze the cue. What triggers the behavior? Is it a specific time, place, emotion, or situation? Understanding the cue helps you disrupt the cycle. For instance, if you tend to snack out of boredom, the cue isn't hunger, it's the feeling of restlessness. Next, replace the routine with a positive behavior. Habits can't simply be eliminated, they must be replaced. Using the same example, if boredom triggers snacking, you might replace the routine with a walk, a creative activity, or a quick phone call to a friend. The new routine should satisfy the same underlying need as the old one. Finally, reinforce the new habit with a reward. Rewards don't have to be extravagant. A sense of accomplishment, a positive feeling, or a moment of relaxation can be enough. Over time, the new habit becomes automatic as your brain associates the cue with the positive routine and reward. Start small. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to build new habits is aiming too high, too fast. While ambition is admirable, sustainable change often begins with modest, achievable goals. If you want to exercise regularly, start with 10 minutes a day instead of committing to an hour-long workout. If you want to read more, aim for a single page. Small successes build confidence and momentum, making it easier to expand your efforts over time. Consistency is the secret ingredient. Habits don't form overnight, they require repetition. Research suggests that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, though this varies depending on the complexity of the behavior. The key is to focus on showing up, even when motivation wanes. Consistency, not perfection, is what matters most. Environment plays a crucial role in habit formation. Your surroundings can either support or sabotage your efforts. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious options and remove tempting junk food. If you want to focus better, create a clutter-free workspace and minimize distractions. Design your environment to make positive habits easier and negative ones harder. Accountability can also help solidify new habits. Share your goals with a trusted friend. Join a community of like-minded individuals or track your progress in a journal. Knowing that someone else is aware of your efforts can boost your commitment and help you stay on track. As you build new habits, be patient with yourself. There will be days when you slip up, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond. Instead of dwelling on the setback, use it as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, what caused the lapse? How can I prevent it in the future? Then recommit to your habit and move forward. Over time, the small, consistent actions you take will compound, creating extraordinary results. This phenomenon, known as the compound effect, highlights the power of incremental progress. A single healthy meal, workout, or productive day might not seem transformative on its own, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, these actions can revolutionize your life. As you reflect on the habits you want to build, remember that the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Each day is an opportunity to align your actions with the life you want to create. In the next chapter, we'll explore the critical role of resilience and how to bounce back when life throws unexpected challenges your way. For now, think about one habit you want to cultivate and one small action you can take today to get started. The journey begins with a single step, and that step can change everything. Chapter 11. Resilience in the face of adversity. Life has an uncanny way of testing us when we least expect it. Challenges arise, plans unravel, and the path forward can feel obstructed. Yet these moments, difficult as they may be, are also opportunities for growth and transformation. Resilience, the ability to adapt and bounce back, is the cornerstone of navigating life's inevitable adversities. It's not about avoiding challenges, but learning to move through them with strength and purpose. Think of resilience as a muscle. It strengthens each time you face difficulty, provided you're intentional about how you respond. While the weight of hardship might feel unbearable in the moment, those who approach it as a chance to learn and evolve often emerge not only stronger but also more in tune with their inner potential. When adversity strikes, it's easy to fall into the trap of self-pity or helplessness. But here's a truth to anchor yourself in. Pain, while uncomfortable, often carries a hidden purpose. It can serve as a teacher, illuminating areas in your life that require change or attention. The key is to shift your perspective, to see challenges not as roadblocks but as stepping stones. Let's begin with one of the most powerful tools for resilience: reframing. Reframing is the practice of looking at a situation through a different lens. For instance, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can this teach me?" Or "How can I grow from this experience?" By changing the narrative, you shift from victimhood to empowerment. Imagine you've lost a job you relied on. The immediate reaction might be fear, anger, or despair. But reframing allows you to see this as a chance to reassess your path, explore new opportunities, or rediscover passions you may have sidelined. It doesn't minimize the difficulty. It simply helps you find purpose within it. Another crucial element of resilience is self-compassion. When facing adversity, many people are harsh on themselves, internalizing failure as a reflection of their worth. This self-critical mindset only deepens the emotional toll. Instead, practice treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Acknowledge the difficulty of your situation. Remind yourself that struggle is a universal human experience, and give yourself permission to heal at your own pace. Actionable resilience also requires a focus on what's within your control. Often, adversity feels overwhelming because it highlights our limitations. But within every challenge, there are aspects you can influence. Start by identifying one small action you can take to improve your situation. If you're navigating a breakup, for instance, you might begin by organizing your space to foster a sense of renewal. If you're dealing with financial hardship, create a plan for the next 30 days, even if it's modest. Progress, no matter how small, builds momentum and restores a sense of agency. Building resilience also involves cultivating a support system. No one thrives in isolation. Reaching out to friends, family, or mentors during tough times isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to your willingness to seek connection and guidance. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, those who remind you of your strength when you momentarily forget it. Resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about nurturing hope. Even in the darkest moments, holding on to a vision of a better future can sustain you. Visualization is a powerful tool here. Close your eyes and imagine yourself overcoming the challenge at hand. Picture the version of you who has grown through the experience, stronger, wiser, and more capable. This mental image can serve as a guiding light, pulling you forward when the path feels uncertain. Gratitude is another unexpected ally in resilience. While it might feel counterintuitive to seek gratitude in moments of pain, focusing on what remains good and meaningful in your life can provide comfort and perspective. Start small. Jot down 3 things you're grateful for each day. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to recognize abundance even amidst struggle. A final component of resilience is the willingness to adapt. Life rarely unfolds as planned, and rigidity in the face of change only amplifies frustration. Resilient individuals embrace flexibility. They recognize when to adjust their approach, pivot their goals, or let go of what no longer serves them. Adaptation isn't about giving up, it's about finding new ways forward. As you reflect on your own life, consider the challenges you've faced and how they've shaped you. Perhaps there's a time when you overcame something you once thought insurmountable. Draw strength from that memory. Remind yourself that you've faced difficulty before and emerged on the other side. Resilience is a lifelong practice, not a destination. Each challenge you encounter is an opportunity to deepen your understanding of yourself and your capacity to grow. The next time adversity strikes, pause. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself that within every storm lies the potential for transformation. In the next chapter, we'll explore the art of living with intention and how aligning your daily actions with your values can lead to a life of greater fulfillment and purpose. For now, take a moment to appreciate your journey thus far. The fact that you're here, seeking growth, is a testament to your resilience. Chapter 12. The art of living intentionally. Most of us move through life on autopilot, reacting to the demands of the day without pausing to ask if our actions align with what truly matters to us. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and before we know it, years have passed. Living without intention can feel like drifting in a current, powerless to determine where we end up. But the truth is, you hold the power to chart your course. Intentional living is about aligning your daily actions with your deepest values and aspirations. It's the practice of making deliberate choices, big and small, that reflect who you are and the life you want to create. Living with intention doesn't mean controlling every detail. It means cultivating awareness, clarity, and purpose in how you approach your life. It begins with understanding your core values. What truly matters to you? These aren't surface-level goals like earning more money or gaining recognition, but deeper truths about the kind of person you want to be and the life you want to lead. Perhaps you value connection, creativity, freedom, or growth. Take a moment to reflect. What makes you feel most alive? What do you want to be remembered for? Once you've identified your values, examine how your current actions align with them. If you say family is a priority but spend most of your time working late and checking your phone during dinner, there's a disconnect. If you value health but regularly skip meals or neglect exercise, your actions aren't supporting your intentions. Awareness of these gaps is the first step toward change. The next step is to define your vision. Intentional living thrives on clarity. Picture your ideal life, not in a superficial sense, but as a reflection of your values. What does your day look like when you're living in alignment with your truest self? How do you feel? How do you interact with others? Writing this vision down can make it more tangible and provide a compass for your decisions. Living intentionally also requires setting priorities. In a world that constantly demands your attention, it's easy to lose sight of what matters most. To combat this, start each day by identifying your top priorities. Ask yourself, if I could accomplish only one thing today that aligns with my values, what would it be? This practice focuses your energy and ensures your efforts contribute to a meaningful outcome. One of the most practical ways to live intentionally is by designing your environment to support your values. If you want to spend more time reading, keep books within arm's reach instead of burying them under piles of clutter. If you value creativity, carve out a space in your home for artistic expression. Your environment should act as a partner in your pursuit of an intentional life, not a barrier. Time is your most precious resource, and how you spend it reflects your intentions, or lack thereof. Conduct a time audit to see where your hours go. You might be surprised to find how much time is spent on activities that don't serve your values, like mindless scrolling or watching TV out of habit. Reclaiming even a fraction of this time can create space for what truly matters. Another cornerstone of intentional living is learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, often something that aligns with your values. Practice setting boundaries and prioritizing commitments that genuinely resonate with your intentions. This doesn't mean shutting out others. It means honoring yourself enough to make choices that reflect your priorities. Mindfulness is an essential tool for intentional living. By practicing presence, you can bring greater awareness to your actions and decisions. Start with small moments. When you're eating, savor each bite. When you're listening to someone, give them your full attention. When you're working, focus entirely on the task at hand. Mindfulness helps you break free from autopilot and reconnect with the present. Of course, living intentionally doesn't mean striving for perfection. There will be days when distractions, setbacks, or obligations pull you off course. The key is to approach these moments with self-compassion and a commitment to recalibrate. Intentional living is a practice, not a one-time decision. As you integrate intention into your life, you'll notice subtle yet profound shifts. Your days will feel more purposeful, your actions more aligned, and your sense of fulfillment deeper. Challenges will still arise, but when you're grounded in your values, you'll navigate them with clarity and strength. Intentional living is about becoming the architect of your life. Instead of drifting aimlessly, you take an active role in shaping your journey. This doesn't mean eliminating spontaneity or joy. It means creating a foundation that allows those moments to flourish. In the next chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of gratitude and how it can shift your perspective, deepen your connections, and amplify your sense of joy. For now, take a moment to reflect on one area of your life where you can begin living with more intention. Start small and remember, every deliberate choice brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Chapter 13. The transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is often misunderstood. It's not simply about saying thank you or forcing yourself to feel grateful when life is hard. Gratitude is a lens, a way of seeing the world that shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. It's a practice that grounds you in abundance, even in the face of challenges. More importantly, it has the power to transform not only how you feel but how you live. Picture this. Two people face the same difficult situation. One focuses solely on what went wrong, spiraling into frustration and despair. The other acknowledges the difficulty but also notices the silver linings, a lesson learned, a moment of unexpected kindness, or simply the strength to endure. The circumstances are identical, yet the emotional outcomes couldn't be more different. That's the power of gratitude. Gratitude doesn't erase difficulty, nor does it diminish the validity of pain or struggle. Instead, it allows you to hold space for both challenge and blessing. It's about finding beauty amidst the chaos, even if that beauty is as small as a glimmer of light through the cracks. The first step to cultivating gratitude is shifting your perspective. Often, we're conditioned to notice what's lacking, what we didn't achieve, what we wish were different, or what we've lost. Gratitude invites you to flip this script. Instead of focusing on scarcity, ask yourself, what do I have right now that supports me? What moments today brought me joy, however fleeting? One of the most effective ways to practice gratitude is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to identify 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. In fact, the smaller and more specific, the better. Maybe it's the way sunlight streamed through your window that morning, or the comforting taste of your favorite meal. The act of noticing and naming these moments rewires your brain to seek out positivity, even in the midst of adversity. Another practice is writing a gratitude letter. Think of someone who has made a difference in your life, perhaps a mentor, friend, or family member. Write them a heartfelt letter expressing why you're thankful for them and how they've impacted you. If possible, deliver it in person or read it aloud to them. This simple act not only deepens your sense of gratitude, but strengthens your connection with others. Gratitude isn't limited to external experiences or people. It can also be directed inward. How often do you thank yourself for the effort you put into your day, the resilience you've shown, or the growth you've achieved? Take a moment to acknowledge your own contributions. This isn't about vanity. It's about honoring the parts of yourself that deserve recognition and encouragement. It's important to recognize that gratitude doesn't always come naturally, especially during tough times. When life feels overwhelming, finding something to be grateful for can feel like a Herculean task. In these moments, start small. Be grateful for your breath, for the strength to face another day, or for the support of someone who cares about you. Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain. It's about finding light, however faint, within the darkness. Beyond individual benefits, gratitude has a ripple effect. When you express genuine appreciation, you inspire others to do the same. A simple thank you can brighten someone's day and foster a culture of positivity and connection. Imagine a world where gratitude is shared freely, where people feel seen, valued, and supported. You have the power to contribute to this world, one act of gratitude at a time. Another profound aspect of gratitude is its ability to anchor you in the present. So much of our mental energy is spent ruminating on the past or worrying about the future. Gratitude brings you back to the here and now, grounding you in the richness of what is. When you're fully present, you're more attuned to life's subtleties, the way laughter sounds, the texture of a loved one's voice, or the feeling of a warm breeze on your skin. To cultivate gratitude in the present, try incorporating mindful pauses into your day. When you wake up, before you check your phone or rush into the day's demands, take a moment to appreciate the opportunity of a new day. Before you eat, pause to consider the effort and resources that brought the food to your table. These moments of mindfulness deepen your connection to life and amplify your gratitude. As you strengthen your gratitude practice, you'll notice shifts in how you perceive the world. What once seemed mundane will begin to feel miraculous. Relationships will grow richer as you express appreciation more openly. Even challenges will feel less daunting, as gratitude helps you focus on what's within your control and the lessons each experience holds. Gratitude is a choice, a deliberate decision to focus on what's right instead of dwelling on what's wrong. It's a practice that requires consistency but offers immeasurable rewards. As you integrate gratitude into your life, you'll discover a profound sense of peace and fulfillment that comes from recognizing the abundance around and within you. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the concept of forgiveness, not just as a gift to others, but as a liberating act of self-love that clears the path for emotional and spiritual growth. For now, take a moment to reflect on something or someone you're grateful for today. Let that feeling of appreciation fill you, reminding you of the beauty in your journey so far. Chapter 14. The freedom of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most misunderstood and challenging concepts on the journey to inner transformation. Many believe it means condoning harm or forgetting the past, but true forgiveness is not about letting someone else off the hook. It's about releasing yourself from the burden of resentment, anger, and pain. Forgiveness is not a gift to others. It's a gift to yourself, a way to reclaim your peace and freedom. Holding on to anger is like gripping a burning coal, hoping it will hurt the person who wronged you. But the truth is, the only person suffering is you. The weight of unresolved hurt drains your energy, clouds your perspective, and keeps you tethered to the past. Forgiveness is the act of letting go, not because the other person deserves it, but because you deserve to live unshackled from that pain. To understand forgiveness, we must first confront the myths surrounding it. Forgiveness does not mean excusing bad behavior or pretending it didn't happen. It doesn't require reconciliation or restoring a relationship. Forgiveness is an internal process, independent of anyone else's actions or acknowledgement. It's about freeing your heart from the toxic grip of anger and resentment so you can move forward with clarity and peace. The first step in the process is acknowledging the pain. Pretending that hurt doesn't exist only buries it deeper, where it festers and grows. Sit with your feelings, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. Allow yourself to name the pain, what happened, who caused it, and how it affected you. This step is not about judgment or blame, but about validating your own experience and honoring your emotions. Once you've acknowledged the pain, explore the impact it's having on your life. How has holding on to resentment shaped your thoughts, behaviors, or relationships? Perhaps it's made you more guarded, fearful, or distrustful. Maybe it's robbed you of joy or kept you stuck in cycles of anger and self-pity. Understanding the cost of resentment can motivate you to seek freedom through forgiveness. Next, reframe your perspective. This doesn't mean minimizing the hurt or denying your feelings. It means shifting your focus from the harm done to the lessons learned. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this experience? How has it made me stronger, wiser, or more compassionate? This reframing process doesn't justify the actions of others, but it empowers you to find meaning in your pain and take ownership of your healing. Forgiveness often feels impossible because we expect it to happen all at once. But forgiveness is not a singular event, it's a practice, a commitment you make to yourself every day. Start small. Choose to release a little of your anger, a little of your pain. Over time, these small acts of release add up, creating space for healing and renewal. An effective tool in the forgiveness process is writing a letter. This letter isn't meant to be sent. It's meant to help you unburden your heart. Write to the person who hurt you, expressing all the emotions you've been carrying. Be honest and specific about what happened and how it affected you. Then, write about your decision to let go, not for their sake, but for yours. As you put pen to paper, imagine the weight lifting from your shoulders, leaving you lighter and freer. Forgiveness is also deeply tied to self-compassion. Often, the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You might replay mistakes in your mind, berating yourself for what you did or didn't do. But just as you extend grace to others, you must also extend it to yourself. Remind yourself that you are human, and being human means being imperfect. Every misstep is an opportunity for growth, and every moment is a chance to start again. It's important to recognize that forgiveness doesn't erase pain or guarantee closure. There may be times when the person who hurt you doesn't apologize or take accountability. In such cases, forgiveness becomes an act of self-empowerment, a way of reclaiming your narrative and refusing to let someone else's actions define your future. As you practice forgiveness, you'll begin to notice its ripple effects. You'll feel lighter, more open, and more connected to yourself and others. Resentment will no longer consume your energy, and you'll have more space for joy, love, and creativity. Relationships may improve as you let go of old grudges, and new opportunities may arise as you approach life with a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it transforms your future. It's a declaration of freedom, a choice to live untethered by anger and pain. It's a testament to your strength, your resilience, and your commitment to your own well-being. In the next chapter, we'll explore how embracing uncertainty can unlock new possibilities and lead to a life of greater freedom and adventure. For now, reflect on one area of your life where forgiveness might offer liberation. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that forgiveness is not about what someone else deserves. It's about what you deserve. You deserve peace. You deserve freedom. You deserve to live fully. Chapter 15. Embracing uncertainty. For much of our lives, we are taught to seek certainty. We crave clear answers, predictable outcomes, and stable paths forward. But life, by its very nature, is uncertain. No matter how carefully we plan or how much we try to control, uncertainty is inevitable. What if, instead of resisting it, we learn to embrace it? What if uncertainty wasn't something to fear, but something to welcome as a gateway to possibility? Think about the last time you were faced with a major decision or a significant life change. Perhaps you agonized over the unknowns, feeling paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. That fear stems from a natural desire for security, a desire to know how things will turn out before we take the leap. But here's the truth. Certainty is an illusion. The only thing we can truly count on is change. When we resist uncertainty, we limit ourselves. We stick to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us because it feels safe. We avoid risks, even when they hold the potential for growth, because we're afraid of failure. But by clinging to what we know, we miss out on what could be. The first step to embracing uncertainty is reframing it as an opportunity rather than a threat. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What if this leads to something amazing?" Consider the times in your life when unexpected events or detours turned out to be blessings in disguise. Perhaps a job loss led you to a more fulfilling career, or a breakup opened the door to a healthier relationship. Uncertainty often holds the seeds of transformation if we're willing to trust the process. One way to build comfort with uncertainty is to practice curiosity. Instead of viewing the unknown as a void, see it as an adventure. Approach each day with the mindset of an explorer, eager to learn and discover. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What new possibilities might arise if I let go of my need to control the outcome? Curiosity is a powerful antidote to fear because it shifts your focus from what you can't control to what you can explore. It invites you to stay open and present, allowing life to unfold in unexpected and beautiful ways. Another key to embracing uncertainty is strengthening your resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges or never feeling afraid. It's about developing the inner resources to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and courage. Start by cultivating a strong foundation of self-care. When your body and mind are nourished, you're better equipped to face uncertainty with clarity and calm. Mindfulness is another invaluable tool for building resilience. When uncertainty arises, it's easy to spiral into anxiety, imagining worst-case scenarios or becoming overwhelmed by what-ifs. Mindfulness anchors you in the present moment, helping you focus on what's real and actionable right now. Take a deep breath, notice the sensations in your body, and remind yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way, one step at a time. Embracing uncertainty also requires letting go of perfectionism. Often, our fear of the unknown is rooted in a desire to get everything right. But life isn't about perfect outcomes. It's about progress, growth, and experience. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. Trust that even when things don't go as planned, they can still lead to valuable insights and new directions. One practical exercise for embracing uncertainty is setting small, manageable experiments in areas of your life where you feel stuck. For example, if you're considering a career change but feel paralyzed by the unknown, try volunteering in a new field or taking a short course to test the waters. These low-risk experiments help you gather information and build confidence without requiring a full commitment upfront. It's also helpful to adopt a mindset of adaptability. Rather than clinging to a rigid plan, approach life with a sense of fluidity. Be willing to pivot, adjust, and try new approaches as circumstances change. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means remaining flexible in how you achieve them. Perhaps the most profound shift in embracing uncertainty is learning to trust yourself. When you trust your ability to adapt, learn, and grow, the unknown becomes less intimidating. You realize that no matter what happens, you have the inner strength and resourcefulness to navigate it. Trusting yourself also means honoring your intuition. While uncertainty often involves external unknowns, your inner wisdom is a steady guide. When faced with a difficult decision, take time to tune into your instincts. What feels aligned with your values and desires? What choice resonates with your deepest sense of purpose? Finally, remember that uncertainty is an inherent part of growth. Every new chapter in life begins with a step into the unknown. Growth requires risk, and risk requires courage. By embracing uncertainty, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities of who you can become and what your life can be. As you reflect on this chapter, consider one area of your life where uncertainty feels particularly daunting. What small step can you take today to lean into that uncertainty with curiosity and trust? Embrace the unknown as a teacher, knowing that every experience, whether it leads to success, failure, or something in between, has the potential to shape you in meaningful and unexpected ways. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to create a vision for your life that inspires and empowers you, even amidst the uncertainty of the journey. For now, take a deep breath and remind yourself, the unknown is where all transformation begins. Chapter 16. Crafting a vision that pulls you forward. A life without vision is like setting sail without a destination. You drift wherever the currents take you, never truly feeling anchored or purposeful. But a powerful vision acts as your North Star, a guiding light that provides direction, clarity, and inspiration. It's not just a goal or a checklist of achievements. It's a vivid picture of the life you want to create and the person you want to become. Many people hesitate to craft a vision because they fear getting it wrong. What if I change my mind? What if I can't achieve it? But your vision isn't meant to be rigid or perfect. It's a living, breathing representation of your deepest values and desires, and it can evolve as you grow. The key is to start where you are and let your vision take shape over time. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your ideal life. Picture it in detail, not just the external circumstances like where you live or what you do for work, but the internal experience. How do you feel in this life? Are you confident, peaceful, energized, or fulfilled? What relationships fill your world? What values guide your actions? This exercise isn't about creating a fantasy. It's about connecting with the essence of what truly matters to you. Crafting a vision begins with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your values, passions, and dreams. What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? These are clues to your authentic vision. Sometimes your vision is buried beneath layers of societal expectations or limiting beliefs. You may have been told to play it safe or follow a conventional path, but your true vision lies in listening to your heart and trusting your unique journey. Once you've connected with the essence of your vision, put it into words. Write a detailed description of your ideal life as though it's already happening. Use the present tense as if you're living it now. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be successful in my career," you might write, "I wake up each morning excited to work on projects that align with my passion and purpose. I feel confident, creative, and deeply fulfilled by the impact I'm making." Writing your vision in vivid detail engages both your mind and emotions. It creates a clear mental picture that pulls you forward, igniting your motivation and resilience. Keep this written vision somewhere you can revisit often. Reading it regularly helps you stay aligned with your goals, even when challenges arise. A powerful vision doesn't just inspire, it also guides your actions. Break your vision down into tangible steps. What daily habits, decisions, or projects can move you closer to your ideal life? For example, if your vision includes vibrant health, you might commit to regular exercise and mindful eating. If it involves a fulfilling career, you might explore new skills or network with inspiring individuals. Each step, no matter how small, builds momentum and brings your vision closer to reality. Another key to crafting a compelling vision is allowing yourself to dream boldly. It's easy to limit your vision out of fear or practicality, but true transformation requires stepping outside your comfort zone. Ask yourself, if I knew I couldn't fail, what would I pursue? What would I create if I let go of all doubt? Dreaming boldly doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It means believing in your capacity to overcome them. As you work toward your vision, remember the importance of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and your path may take unexpected turns. Instead of clinging rigidly to specific outcomes, stay open to new possibilities. Sometimes, what seems like a setback is actually a redirection towards something even better. Trust the process and remain adaptable, knowing that your vision is a compass, not a fixed destination. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who support and uplift you. Share your vision with trusted friends, mentors, or loved ones who believe in your potential. Their encouragement can provide valuable perspective and accountability, helping you stay focused and motivated. At the same time, be mindful of influences that may undermine your vision. Distance yourself from negativity or skepticism that doesn't serve your growth. Visualization is a powerful practice for strengthening your connection to your vision. Spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself living your ideal life. Close your eyes and engage all your senses. See the vibrant colors, hear the sounds, feel the emotions. Visualization not only reinforces your belief in what's possible, but also trains your brain to recognize opportunities that align with your goals. As you craft and pursue your vision, remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. Your vision isn't meant to create pressure or perfectionism. It's meant to inspire and guide you. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and take time to appreciate the growth and experiences along the way. In this chapter, we've explored the power of crafting a vision that pulls you forward. A vision rooted in your values, dreams, and authentic self. As you move forward, keep this vision close to your heart, using it as a source of inspiration and direction. In the final chapter, we'll bring everything together, exploring how to live a life of purpose, alignment, and fulfillment by integrating the lessons and practices you've learned throughout this journey. For now, take a moment to reflect on your vision. Imagine it vividly and let it fill you with excitement and possibility. This is your life to create, and your vision is the first step toward living it fully.